And as you get across this wonderful, sturdy bridge, who's there on the other side, meeting you right now?
It's just absolute pure light.
Beautiful.
It started with me going through a very ancient vaulted corridor, and they showed me in the times when people were thrown to the lions in the old Roman times, that the gladiators used to be right underneath the Colosseum in the sort of archways and vaulted corridors underground. And this was like an underground tunnel or vault, ancient. And as I started going through, there was this purple light at the end of this sort of vaulted tunnel. And then it opened up into what looked like a mountain range. And then I was just surrounded by these beings that would be at least 30 feet tall, very, very, very tall. And there was just purple light everywhere.
How many beings are you seeing right now?
They're just gathering, like, and they tend to intermingle. It's sort of like waves.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going in and out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're showing me, I think it's called a sea anemone. You know how it does that, and then it goes out, and it does this, and it goes out.
Mm-hmm.
So they are all the one anemone as such. Just as we were talking about the one being with many tentacles.
Yes.
So and now they're showing me the picture of the eye, where you've got the iris, and then it looks small with the pupil in the middle, and then all those lots and lots of little interconnecting lines the whole way around.
Yes.
So you've got the pinpoint, and then that light goes right through every single one. And it's like there's a purple sun in the middle of them. And the sun is the golden light. And then as it comes through, it's almost this purple shimmer with gold coming through this entire collective of beings. That's what I'm seeing at the moment.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And are these beings able to let us or help us to understand what are these ripples that we are feeling on Earth at the moment? The devastation, the destruction. I call them ripples, but they may want to refer to them as something else.
They call them magnetics.
Okay, thank you for that. What can we do about these magnetic systems, or are they in place? Are they structured? Are they gridlocked?
It's a magnetic energy like a wind. So just as I was going under, I was shown the earth and like a big melon. And then from the left-hand side, coming from deep out of space, was like a white mist, which came in like wind and started coming towards the earth and swishing over the earth. And they showed me that this is the energy that is coming in, and it's magnetic, and that earth goes through cycles about every 13,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the earth conditions change with the energy that comes in, almost like a slipstream, like you have a Gulf slipstream. So it's doing what it always does. And when it comes, there is a cleansing that takes place. There is sort of like an upgrade. It's like a spring clean. So we are in for a spring clean, but this particular energy is very strong. So they're saying that, if you recall, when this one spoke in the discourse about getting your house in order, meaning your physical house and your mental house, and decluttering so that you don't carry weight, that you are not weighty. And as such, if this energy, this wind, let's call it a wind so that humans can visualize wind. So if a human is a very solid structure and the wind comes along, they will brace themselves against the wind and they will get what's called a battering. They'll be battered. If they are very slight, and we're taking you to this one's homeland in Cape Town, where people would literally hold onto a pole and their feet would come up and the dresses would be flapping because it's so strong. So if you are going to stand and not go with the flow of the energy, you're going to get battered. If you're going to be light in your thoughts, in your demeanor, in your actions, in your light words, then you will go with the wind. You will travel with the flow and you will have a gentle landing. This that is coming is bringing great changes, great shake-ups. It is time for change. And we've spoken about the quickening before. It is the time of the quickening when everything seems to be speeding up.
Thank you for that. And can you share with us a little bit more about the speeding up? Does that mean that we are, as human beings, our timelines are speeding up? Does that mean that we're processing things a lot quicker in our energetic field? Because even now, talking to you through Jill, I'm cold. My hands are cold. I have this like shiver that's going through me. Does this mean that we're going through, or like what my body's feeling? You know, often as humans, we talk about the upgrade, the upgrade. And is this part of the quickening that we're going through these cellular DNA upgrades in this quickening?
Well, this is a choice. One chooses to be upgraded or not. It is like what we term a sacred contract. So you all came for a mission with your blueprint. So many look at another and say, I want to do that. I want to go there. I want to go to Egypt. I want to do Hawaii. But that is not what their blueprint is meant for. They are meant to do their mission that is beautifully overlaid to fit their blueprint. So the energy that comes in, if you have decided to accept a sacred contract and feel a pull, then your energy will come in because you have set that intention. It is, if it is aligned, you will be in flow. And therefore, the universe, the universal laws, the energy that's there, the energy fields will come into your field of energy. There will be a match, and that's when you have liftoff. So when it doesn't work, when it doesn't flow, then you are trying to put your blueprint onto something that is not a match. So it is intention, it is contract, and some may have the intention now for change, but is it aligned with their contract?
Thank you for sharing. And it's pretty simple, isn't it? As human beings, it's when we're feeling push pull. I mean, Jill and I were having a laugh earlier on about me wearing black today and Jill wearing white, and we had this conversation yesterday about the different understandings of colors, and I referenced the the church and said, well, the priests wear white, and in my understanding, a lot of people haven't felt safe in the churches or church, specifically the one that I'm talking about. Is this just something that we make up as human beings, or is it what's the truth? What is our truth as human beings? It's something that we keep seeking, and we know we're all different. As you've shared, our blueprints are different. But what is our truth as human beings? Even with color, what is the
carry
sorry
on.
to interrupt you. Even with colors, what is the truth? Is it about if we wear something and it makes us feel good? Is that what matters in the moment? Is that what our blueprint is gravitating towards, magnetizing towards?
So one has to ask, how does one carry one's cloth? And this 3D human vessel is your cloth. It is the coat that you carry through this current incarnation. And how do you wear it? Have you noticed how many don't stand straight? How many look down? You term it body language. Those are the ones that feel contracted. They are not full of self. They are not self-aware of whom they truly are. For when they look in the mirror, they see something less than. And that is when color comes into what we term the play. For Earth is nothing but a play. What part do you wish to play? And yet those that are depressed wear dark colors because the dark is contracting. And yet those that are of larger frame also like to wear a dark color. Why? Because of the contracting, making them feel smaller. That is why one paints one's walls or one's ceilings in a lighter shade to open up, to have more light, more space. So we say, have a play with your wardrobes. Go into the shops, try on the clothes, those cloths, those fabrics. See which ones feel good. When you put something on and your eyes pop and you go, wow, then you know it is aligned with you, and it might be aligned with you that particular day as to how you are feeling. You might take it home and try that same item on a few days later and go, it's not popping today the way it popped in the shop. Why is that? Because your vibrations may have changed. But if you have an elevated vibration, which is lightness, joy, happy, at peace, self-contained, self-aware, one can carry many colors, but one would naturally then gravitate to the lighter tones. Does that answer your question?
It does, and I thank you for that. And I think that I personally am sitting with what's perception, what's reality, what's illusion, because there's so much information out there nowadays that comes through from, you know, yourselves and through other human beings. And I think it's creating for me a lot of confusion, to be honest. And what's real and what's not? What's surface and what's not? What's the truth and what's not? You know, so there's a lot of questions all in that. Um, and I know that this year is about personally transformation. So would you say that that's kind of going back to the wind? I saw this visual of a dandelion. You know, when a dandelion gets blown, you know, it scatters and it looks beautiful, like little fairies, and then it lands. They land wherever they're going to land. So, what is this year about with all this confusion that's going on?
It's very simple. We laugh because what is reality? What is reality to one is a completely different reality to another. And so this is why we say this is the time for shedding. For one carries many layers of protection, playing parts to many. You will be a certain way to this friend, this way to that friend, then again another way to another friend. For many friends have different layers. So you bring the layer in to that particular friend, to that particular situation. You wouldn't speak to a child the way you would speak to a professor. You wouldn't speak to a colleague the way you would speak to a lover. So there are many parts and many layers. But once you take all the layers away, what does one have? But the essence. And some may term this spirit or soul, the actual fabric of what makes you, your particular blueprint, your particular mathematical equation. And each has a particular formula that comes in each incarnation. And there will be what we call batches of formulas that come in like a soul family, and they gravitate together. And they come in the bandwidth, in the hue, in the color. So they will then decide to vibrate and act a certain way and play out. And do you see, we say act because it is a part in a play or a film. You are playing a part until you no longer wish to play that part anymore. But the time now for playing a part is over. Now it's a time for embracing truth and getting rid of the farce, getting rid of the acting. We don't want acting anymore. We just want to be what is termed authenticity. And we would like to commend you for, you have a podcast, do you not, called Keeping It Real?
I do, yes.
Right. And that is because you really relate to truth. Anything that is not of the truth with you is on the side. It's off your, we're showing this one a meter. And as it goes to the side, it goes, bap.
That is so true.
And that's what you term a BS, or your BS barometer, correct?
Yes.
So we say that you came to show many the way, to be brave, to be courageous, to stand in their truth. And that is why we always say it's this one's job to teach people who or what they are, so that there can be no more burp, 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 because each time the BS barometer sounds, and they know it, they can feel it within themselves. That's because they're feeling less than with in front of someone, some body, a human body. And as soon as they feel that twinge of, oh, I'm now acting a part, I'm playing up to that person, Why am I playing up to that person? Oh, I feel less than. In some way, I feel that that person has got more than me or superior to me intellectually, financially, economically, whichever way, spiritually. And that is what we would like to term incorrect. They are just being them. You just be you. You are not less than anything or anyone. This morning we showed this one that we are her team. We are in front of her, showing the way, clearing the path. We are on either side of her. We are comrades in arms, and we are behind her, pushing along so that she can go onto the clear path. But we are not below her, and we are not above her. And those that are listening have to remember who or what they are. They are a being, and their being at the moment is termed human form, but that is not what they are. They are pulses of light in the all that is. They are color, they are tone, they are frequency, and they are light. And are they being light? Are they being true to themselves? And that's what it always says. To thine own self, be true. Because if you can't be true to yourself, who can you be true with or to? So we applaud you that you do keep it real. You do say, this is who I am, not who you are or you are or you are. This is me. I embrace me. I love me. And the parts that you don't love, it's quite simple from where we see it. You have the ability to change it, to create new. For were you not all created in order to create? And so what is it that you are creating? It is time for creation.
Thank you for that. And thank you for the acknowledgement. That means a huge amount to me. So there's a beautiful gentleman called Robert Edward Grant who Jill put me onto. And he shared something when you talk about Jill's team. Would you say that all of our teams are exactly as you described, you being the team of Jill, in front and on the side? Would you say that that is how all our teams carry us in this human world?
Could you repeat that? It just
Okay,
started for a bit.
no problem. You know how you spoke of being on Jill's team and how you showed her this morning that you're in front of her and you're on the side of her, yet you're not above and you're not below. So I read something on Robert Edward Grant called the Hermetic Principle of Correspondence. As above, so below, is illustrated in this emblem, which was first published in 1625. This Hermetic axiom is considered to have been recorded for the first time on the emerald tablet of Hermes, and forgive my understanding of saying this, Trismegistus. Hermes.
Yes.
Yes. True it is without falsehood, certain and most true. So is this where, because this is part of, if you think about it, the correspondence principle, you know, what is that about? I mean, look how old this is, 1625. The principle of correspondence. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Absolutely, because whatever it is you give out is exactly what you get back, as above, so below. It's very, very simple. It's also saying, what is the one true law for life? What you do to one, you do to self. So people always seem so surprised. We like to term it the boomerang effect. You give something out and it comes back to bite you in your bottom, and you humans seem so surprised by that. So what is it that you wish to receive? That is what you give. You want to gossip about somebody, but you don't want to be gossiped about. Don't gossip. You want to have a lovely figure and a healthy life? Well, then eat and drink accordingly. What you put in is what you're going to get out. It is nothing but an energy transfer. If you want to be light, what are you doing about it? Are you filling yourself up with dark? Then you will get dark. You want to fill yourself with light? Then you will get light. You want to have light vibrations? Then you do the light work. And we see it as very, very simple. However, humans complicate things, and it comes back again to the emotions. Now, we've spoken about this before, which is the energy in motion for the emotion. So the emotions are supposed to flow, like that energy that came through around the world and coming through. It has to flow through the system. When one holds it, one is stagnant, and then you have a problem. You have the problem of once again feeling less than. So how does it work? One wishes to have the fabulous figure. One knows one should eat the fresh vegetables. However, one chooses the carrot cake. One chooses the candy and a glass of Chardonnay. And so it goes into the body. It aligns in certain pockets in the body, but it doesn't align with what you would like, the outcome for the body. And yet you are telling the body, I would like to be light. I would like to be healthy. I would like to be able to move easily and fluidly. And yet, what are you doing to your body? This friend of yours that is going to be with you for life. Are you having a symbiotic relationship? Are you being fair to the body? And when you're not being fair to the body, you're not being fair to yourself. But it comes back to the emotion. Who or what are you, and who are you living for? If you are living for self, you will feed the body beautifully. You will have a wonderful symbiotic relationship with the body. But if you live for others' thoughts and what they've said about you, you will have that holding all around you. And as a result, you will have the carrot cake, you will have another 2 glasses of Chardonnay, and you'll throw some candy and some ice cream in as well. Although as you do it, you know this is not what you wish for as the end result, like your GPS for your life. Where are you going? What is it that you wish to achieve? In order to achieve something, one has to put in a body of work. For example, an athlete. You, Michelle, or this one, won't say today, oh, actually, there's a marathon on next weekend.
No.
I'm just going to rock up in my shorts and my sneakers, and I'm going to do the marathon. And it's exactly the same. If you want to be able to do the marathon, you have to do the work. You have to get yourself ready for it. So whatever vision that you have, you can achieve it. But you've got to do the work. And you have to know that you're worthy. So if you are carrying that extra weight that you don't wish to carry, we would like to say, why are you carrying it? It's your choice. Why are you carrying it? For this is no longer your load to carry. You are carrying the words and the feelings that have been given to you by others. So therefore you have a feeling of unworthiness at some level. And some people's levels of unworthiness are heavier than others. So it is no longer what we term thumbs up for making fun of anyone that is carrying too much weight. Those are the ones that need your love the most.
Thank you so much. And speaking of emotions, as you guys are aware, we are heading to Egypt pretty soon. And there's just this time that feels so sacred, and so many of us are joining us energetically on this expedition. We've spoken about it, we've asked before, we've asked the collective, we've asked different beings. But what's come up in the last few weeks or few days actually is about the fractals. And I know it's been discussed before as well. Jill has been Nefertiti and Tutankhamun, and then there's somebody else on our team that's also been Tutankhamun. How does this work? Can you please explain to us how these fractals work in our system? Does it mean that every cell remembers or is a fractal of a timeline or a past life? Can you explain to us a little bit more? Because again, and I'll only speak for myself, there's confusion around this. How does this work, please?
To try and explain this to a human mind is not always easy, but we would like to take you back to the conversation that this one had with you about the mirror, and the mirror being shattered with all the fractals in the mirror, but those particles not falling out of the mirror, but still being part of the mirror. So a fractal is part of the whole, but is separate at the same time. And yet, because it's part of the whole, the other whole can see each fractal. So some will have an alignment or affiliation with a particular fractal, and then they term that an incarnation. They might decide to go in as a collective within a certain being. That's why you have many different fractals saying they were Cleopatra, they were Merlin, they were Melchizedek. And then a larger part of one's soul might choose to go into a particular fractal, and somebody else's soul might choose a few drops to go into that fractal because they also want to have that experience. Does that explain it?
It does, thank you. So it's kind of like when the information comes through from whoever the source is, the person that's delivering the information or the beings that are bringing the information through. It's just accepting that that's where we are at, or that's what we once were. Does that clarify?
Well, you are all everything.
Aha, okay. So this brings me back to the conversation Jill and I were having before we started to record and put her into hypnosis.
Yes,
So
or one always would like, because one is human, to say, oh, no, I was the princess. No, well, I was the queen. You
yes,
were just the servant girl. And
yes,
yet they were all the queen, all the princess, and all were the servant girl.
correct.
However, they like to feel that there is that hierarchy or that superiority or one better. One is feeling and seeing everything.
So does this help with you talk about, us doing the work, and I'm very, very blessed to have people in my life like Jill and my husband and many, many people. I mean, I'm incredibly blessed and lucky to have human beings that want to do the work. And part of the work is bringing up the Akashic records, seeing their blueprint, or working with past lives. But is it when you work with that, it's in the emotion of allowing? Because even this one timeline that I was taken back to, I was a slave, Jill was Nefertiti and Tutankhamun, and it upset us both. This past life upset us really hugely because we have so much love for one another. Is that part of doing the work? Is it necessary?
Well, the more you clear the plate, the cleaner the plate's going to be, the more the plate's going to shine.
Can you guys just not clean it for us, please? Can you not just do the dishwasher and just make sure it just rinses and voila, we come out sparkly?
And that is how one helps another, because that is what lightens the load.
Mm,
So as you lighten the load for each other, so the entire human race will, what we term, lift a notch,
mm,
and then lift a notch and lift a notch until you can go on to the next game.
mm,
It is just like a computer game going from one level to the next level. And it's like snakes and ladders. And that's why we say what affects one affects all.
mm,
How quickly do you wish to play the game? Do you want to have a slow game? Do you want to have a faster game? Do you want to help those others to see where you are at? Oh, look, I've managed to get to the penthouse. Wow, come and have a look at the views here. This one down here can't see the view. So do you say, well, I'm going to kick you into touch, you too slow? Or are you going to say, hey, you know what? I've got an elevator. Step on in, press 111. It'll bring you right to the top. How do you wish to play the game? Do you embrace others? Or do you say, look at me, look at me. I'm in the penthouse. And yet, how are you going to get to the next level until you've brought the rest of the team up to join you in the penthouse?
mm. Thank you. And would you say that that's what humanity is walking towards? Is that level of being part of, the team?
Freedom,
Great. How long?
freedom,
How long?
freedom, 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 freedom. And freedom is everything.
Mm,
Because when one is free, there are no more levels because one is free. So, as long as you keep on playing the game of better than or less than, as above, so below, you will get stuck in a treadmill. You will be treading water. You will be getting tired. They've got more than me. I've got more than them. She's stupid. She's clever. He's brilliant. Wow, look at their cars. Oh no, look at mine. Oh my gosh, she's got a bigger ring than I've got. Oh my gosh, look at this, look at this, look at that. That doesn't keep you free. That's not free of thought. That's contained. That is very tight. There's no freedom in that. That's why we say freedom is everything. And when you know who you are free, because the all that is free. We're now going to share what this one shared with you, Michelle, at the beginning, saying about all the different humans. So if you could imagine that all that is this octopus, and it has millions and trillions and billions of tentacles. The tentacle that goes out to the right and explores everything in that area won't be having the same experience as the tentacle that's on the left, or the tentacle that's the top or the back. Every single tentacle will have a different experience. Doesn't mean that the one testicle, the one tentacle is better than another. No, it's just having a different experience. So let us stop judging everyone else's experiences. You have what we term, or what you term rather at the moment, a woke culture, where there are people who are wishing to have an experience, but they are saying, you have got to recognize my experience.
Mm.
And the others are saying, I don't want to recognize your experience. I'm too busy recognizing my own. Why aren't you recognizing my experience? So we are saying to the woke culture, be anything and everything that you desire, as long as it doesn't hurt another. Why do you have the need for the recognition? Just be. Is it that what you are being light, or is it pulling you down and feeling and making you feel heavy?
Mm.
That is all you have to ask yourself. How is this experience making me feel? And you will carry on feeling that experience until you don't wish to feel that experience again. Once again, it's all choice. It's called free will, but there are many that are wishing to put their will onto another and make another one bound. We say no. This is the time for freedom.
Thank you. And it seems the way that you've expressed that to us in the vibration of and how you've expressed it is, I would say that there's passion behind the way that that you're sharing this through Jill today. And I know we're all seeking this as humans, to show up for one another, to be there for one another, and to have the freedom. And it's something that I think personally I'm noticing that there's within myself, but within others as well, because the mirror's been reflected, that there's this, in Jill's words, discombobulatedness that's happening. So the quickening, the timelines that are quickening, is it all about our thoughts and our emotions, that we can flip this quickening, that we are that powerful as human beings?
Everything is being brought to the surface at the moment, and the thoughts are becoming quicker, faster. How much can one hold? So one has to say, during this quickening period, what is it that I wish to hold? This one often jokes and says she's got so much in her computer that she needs to have a defrag. For she has many years on this earth plane now. She has many memories, but which are the ones that are necessary? Does she actually need to keep any of them? Or can she discharge them all? Can she say, I've had all those.
Mm.
I've experienced all those. Why am I still holding them? What is in this vault? What about opening the vault out, cleaning the vault out, and going, I'm now open for the new. I'm open for infinite possibilities. For does she not sit on the council of infinite possibilities? And she sits on that council to teach others that there are infinite possibilities for them. However, if their vaults are full of the old, how are they going to bring in the new? So there's a very easy exercise in the morning when they stretch and get their human vessel and vehicle all ready for the new day, all smooth and running. Is every body part running smoothly? Does any body part need attention? And then they can say to themselves, they can speak to their higher selves, or they can speak to their team and say, team, please get me ready for this new day. I no longer wish to hold on to the heavy thoughts, the old thoughts. I need an upgrade, just like I upgrade my phone. I upgrade my haircut. I upgrade the clothes I wear. Every now and then I upgrade my car. I would like to upgrade my thoughts. So empty all the thoughts out and await the new. For it is a new day. This is not yesterday, and tomorrow hasn't come. It's this very moment. And we always say, What are you doing in the moment? This now has been present. You hear it all the time, a present, but you don't know what a present is. What is the present for you? What is this gift of life, this gift of breath? What are you doing with it? Are you abusing it or are you using it? Are you saying as above, so below? What are you giving to others? So when you start getting back, that is your reflection. That is your BS on that beautiful barometer. When you start getting BS back, you go, oh, I must have been giving BS out. I forgot who I was. I was not my authentic self. And so it comes back to the balance, the present. Right in the beginning of the session, we took her human body and we levitated it through a forest next to some still water. And there was a bed of flowers. And we gently, gently, gently put her in amongst all the spring flowers. And it was soft. And it was gentle. And she enjoyed it. There was no human traffic. There were no sirens. There were no car noises. No exhaust fumes. No clitter-clatter. And any human at any stage can close their eyes, get their body to levitate through the forest, go down into the flowers, softly, softly like a feather bed. And even if it's just for a few seconds in their busyness, let them come back and connect with who they are. Stop reacting, acting, again and again. Stop reacting with others to others. Pause and say to yourself before you react, what is the gift that I wish for myself? What is it that's going to come out of my mouth? Is it going to be a truth? Or am I going to be reacting? Am I going to be acting again? When there is no acting, reacting, then one has found oneself and one has found freedom. Freedom from what others think, freedom from what others say, freedom just to be.
Thank you so much for these beautiful words. And are there any parting thoughts or understandings that you would like to give to us today for those that are watching?
Yes, we would like to say this is a time for courage. This is a time for acceptance of self. This is the time to realize who you are. You're a magnificent being of light. The energy is coming. The quickening is coming. It will come whether you are ready or not. How you wish to experience it is totally up to you. If there are situations in your life that you are unhappy with, stop blaming others, because that's an act. You are reacting every time you blame another, for you have the choice. But often you don't want to take the choice And then you say, but I don't have a choice. You do have a choice. You just don't like the outcome of the choice. And that is when you blame another. But it's time to be a truth teller to yourself. For you are worthy of freedom. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of tranquility. Why do you feed into the drama? Is this really how you wish to grab attention? Because as you feed into the drama, you will become the drama, and it'll be a reenactment all the time. This is a time for release. This is a time for letting go. This one did with Alba Weinman, a series of videos on Alba Weinman's YouTube channel called The Discourse. Available book, available on Audible, but there are 10 of those chapters for free on Alba Weinman's YouTube channel under her playlist. And many of what the words are that we have spoken today are there gifted for humanity, for your ascension. And we speak about ascension. Ascension, you humans throw around all the time, but you don't stop to think what it actually means. To ascend means to rise above a situation. So sometimes the situation is yourself. What is your situation? Where have you situated yourself? Have a look at the situation. Have a look at the drama. Have a look at the players. Observe yourself on the play, on the stage. And many of you will start laughing and laughing and laughing at the part that you've played. The damsel in distress, the wise woman, the victim, all these different parts that you've been playing. How about now being the part and not playing the part, being the light, becoming the light, living the light. But you have the freedom to choose.
Thank you so much. And can I assume that you'd like this recording to be called Freedom to Choose? Or what would you like it to be called?
Are you free?
And who are we talking to today besides all these beautiful beings on the other side? Is there anybody specific?
We have come as a collective. We are the Galactics.
And thank you, Galactics. Would you like Jill and I to continue this work that we are doing right now?
We are enjoying this very much, and we appreciate your time. We will visit you from occasion to occasion.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that we could be doing differently besides everything that you've mentioned today in our build-up to Egypt?
There are many that listen to your forum that have much knowledge, that are waiting to share it. We would like on occasion on a Wednesday to let this go live. And how about calling it Wacky Wednesdays?
That reminds me of a burger place in South Africa called Steers. They used to have Wacky Wednesdays. Buy one, get one free. It was the bargain of the week. Awesome. I love that.
There's much for those that listen that we wish to share with you both. They too need their voices to be heard. It'll be a forum. That's why we termed it the discourse for this one. The discourse is nothing other than holding a conversation. And do you not see, Michelle, when you hold your Monday mornings, how many that come like to hold a conversation?
It is amazing.
Let the conversations continue. This
So,
is time
are you,
for communication and conversations.
sorry, my apologies. So, are you suggesting that we just have a conversation, or for Jill to go under and then people have questions, or just to have conversations?
You can do both, but we would like alternative Wednesdays for those to join you. And this will be what's called for humanity. So there will be no charge for this. For
Wonderful.
as you work together and you hold this communion, for it is a holy communion, as the energy lifts within the group, your circle will get stronger and stronger, for those will be helping to lift each other.
Mm-hmm.
As they lift each other, the vibrations will be getting stronger and higher. And until the penthouse is reached, these conversations will continue. It is our wish that everyone gets to the penthouse.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate you guys. We are grateful for the knowledge. And with that being said, a parting word, if there is one, please.
We are you.
Thank you. Jilly, take a few big breaths, bringing yourself back into your body, opening your beautiful eyes, feeling fabulous in your words. Having beautiful little Ted come in. He's like, yep, we're done with the crazy. He was very patient. Look, Mom, look, I was
Oh,
patient. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now I've got to be
me.
here. Oh, look at his cat. It's so cute. Like a little lion.
So thrilled.
Yeah.
Go on, Ted.
Well, that's a great way to come back, eh? Him licking you. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Just as good, just as well that he didn't have sardines for
Breakfast.
yeah,
Yeah.
sardines for breakfast.
How are you feeling?
Good, good. Yeah.
That
What do
was
you think? That was wow. Hello. You should have
wonderful.
seen them. They were pretty great, eh?
Yeah. Were there a
Yeah.
lot?
Yeah, they were. It was like if you could imagine a spaceship with all the beams coming out, down the bottom, like beam me up, Scotty. They were all there, like, yeah,
Wow.
amazing. Yeah. So, and tall, 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 tall.
Yeah, I
And
saw
with
this
purple
morning.
shimmer,
Really? I
deep,
saw that.
deep purple. Yeah.
Wow. I saw lots of like that was part of it. I was like spaceship, spaceship. I kept getting a spaceship and then I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna, but it's incredible how it unfolds. And you know what I loved is how they spoke of we are you. And it's something that I've been, sort of wondering, like, how is it? How is it that we are connected to these beings? But obviously they've discussed it. We are, and the labels aren't really necessary if you think about it. It's just, but how? How do they know all the knowledge? Like, where does that knowledge come from? That's what amazes me.
Well, maybe they on above the penthouse. They've gone to the next level of the game. That's all.
A different frequency, hey?
But that's us as well. We've got that knowledge. They always tell me that we have got everything inside us, all the knowledge, exactly like they've got.
Yeah,
But we've just decided to come here to play dumb again so we can have a human experience
yeah,
until we realize not. And then that veil starts lifting
yeah,
and you
yeah,
have those aha moments. And you think about it, Michelle. Sometimes you'll have an aha moment and you'll see you have that understanding.
mm,
And you'll think, how come I only had that understanding now? Why didn't I have it 5 years ago?
yep.
But yet it's always there.
Absolutely. When I
You weren't
started,
ready for it. You just weren't ready.
I know, but that's the frustrating part, At times,
All
it's
the
like,
beauty.
or the beauty, exactly. You see the two different timelines or paradoxes in the way that we live, the
Yeah,
duality,
yesterday.
and you know, It's so true. A friend of mine said to me years and years ago in South Africa, Mish, everything's inside of you. And I was like, what do you mean? Because my head didn't comprehend that, but it's because my head and my body were so rattled, and I just lived on these stress responses. And now I know the difference. Now I know the difference of being in that space of just holding space, finding the balance. But at times it's just, it's kind of cloudy, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. It's kind of cloudy, like, okay, what do they mean? What do they mean? And I'm noticing there's a lot of confusion. I mean, you and I have spoken about this, but for me, there's just been a lot of confusion in the last week or so. And I'm just like, and I'm talking like in everyday life. And even Brent will walk into the kitchen and say, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling strange, I'm feeling like, and for him to say that is very different. But it just feels like we are going through a massive shift of change at the moment. I don't know how you're feeling it, but are
I said
you?
to Greg, yeah, I said to Greg yesterday, I said to him, I feel something's building.
Mm,
I said, like the pressure cooker that's starting,
mm,
and you better take that lid off soon, otherwise it's going to hit the ceiling.
mm,
It's almost like I'm waiting for something to happen,
yeah,
something massive.
I know, but is that not already happening, Julie? Like the floods in Cape Town, the floods in New York.
Yeah, but that's all just due to the magnetics. That's got
Yeah.
absolutely nothing to do with our carbon footprint or anything. It's going to happen regardless, right?
What's your
Nature's bigger than
sense?
us.
What's your sense about this massive? Is that the 3 days of darkness that you've been shown?
I think we're still going to get that. And I think because it's a magnetic line. And I think that's what's coming in is also going to affect the ley lines. And also, I think what it's going to do, it's going to shift people's perception of stuff. It's almost like they're going to get a massive upgrade
Yeah,
overnight.
yeah,
And they're not going to know what's hit them.
yeah.
Because at least we've had the luxury of learning over a long period of time.
Mm,
So for us, it's not going to be that shocking.
mm,
But imagine for some people who really don't understand what we do and
mm,
start seeing things, they're going to react sometimes in fear, but then in huge anger.
mm, mm.
And that's what's going to start the dismantling of stuff.
Yeah, somebody said to me the other day there's riots somewhere as well. I can't remember which part of the States, but it is. I think it's the most natural, I want to say cannibal, but it's not cannibal, caveman style to go into a space of anger, because of we've been promised X and we're getting A kind of thing.
Yes, but they handed over their power.
I know, but
They handed it over. And now the prices become too high and they're waking up. And they're going, whoa, 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 hold on. I know I gave my power away, but now I want it back. But people have lost the art of communication. They've really, really lost it. And when you see how many senators or members of parliament you have in a country, in any given country, and how many millions of actual citizens there are, it could easily change.
mm,
But they've handed their power over. They haven't said, actually, no, we want to live an X amount of way. And we've been going after the trappings, the beautiful things all the time, and feeling less than when somebody has more than us, and then working harder and then getting angry with the husband and the wife or the girlfriend and and no time for the kids and on the devices. I mean, things have gone loopy. So maybe it has to happen this way with this magnetic, with this huge wind, with this change coming in.
mm.
Because what happens when the wind comes? Suddenly the chairs on the patio are upside down and everything. And you go, oh my gosh, is that where that dog toy is? Oh, I've been looking for that. Okay. So it's almost like that's what it's going to do. It's going to bring other stuff up that we didn't see before.
Mm. Well, when you and I were chatting yesterday, remember, I'm going through this cleansing, guys. I'm like getting rid of crystals. I'm getting rid of, like, there's drawers here on the left-hand side. And it's like, why am I collecting this stuff? Like, just
Yeah,
why?
what
They
for?
don't need to be in a drawer. If I can't see them, what's the point? You know, and that's how I genuinely feel. So I'm just like, okay, it's got to go, it's got to go, it's got to go to charity, you know. And we said we're going through like a kind of like a nesting, you know, when you're pregnant and you just like, you just want to clean the house because you know the baby's coming, you know. And
Well, the
that's how
baby is coming, that's for sure. The new birth.
that's so true.
Do you know, I was just being shown an image of a garage. How many people have garages but not for their cars? That is just filled with stuff. They can't even use their garages, some people, you know that. What is that, all that stuff for?
I'm laughing because that's my husband. But at the same time, you know what? It's exactly like us talking about colors, because what brings us joy? And that's the thing. Sometimes people collect stuff. You know, I'm becoming like an art collector. If you said to me 5 years ago, you're going to love art, I was like, what? Like it's something I didn't understand. So it goes back to that whole conversation again of, you know, if only we knew, but we didn't until we now know. And that's the beauty of, yes, what is emotional? What is it that we've got to do this purging for? And, you know, I was sharing with Jill just before we did this session, guys, that, oh man, I had this incredible session with an in-person session with a client today, and I love it, love it, love it when we do the work on ourselves. And any spiritual master will share with you, you know, that we can be out there as much as we want, but it's about doing the human work, because it is. They shared that again today. Excuse me, showing up in our humanness, communication, like you said, you know, is so vitally important.
With ourselves, communication with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Instead of bull dusting ourselves, eh?
Completely. I mean, I can wake up some nights and my head's like that, and I just say, stop. Just stop. Like,
Mm.
what's the point? Like, you know, who cares if that person doesn't like you? Who cares if that person hasn't responded to your message? Who cares if they don't, if you've said something that's offended them and they don't want to speak up about it? There's nothing that I
Yeah,
can do at that moment.
why do you care?
True.
Why do you care? Because you want to be the good girl. Want everybody to like you.
Absolutely. But is that how we were
Ah,
conditioned? Because
yes,
that's part of
yes,
the losing the power again,
yes.
losing our
Be a
power.
good girl and go and make a cup of tea for mommy and daddy.
Yes, but when I've been the shitty one that doesn't like the bullshit, then it comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh my God, now I've got to apologize to everybody, you know? And sometimes I'm like, am I actually just feeling like and saying it out loud because of other people not expressing? But it is, it's that I'm actually getting to that point in my life. And I remember listening to this with Joe Dispenza, where he said he just doesn't care anymore what others think of him. I'm like, go you, dude. And I
Because he's
remember,
living for himself. When you
yeah,
start caring what others think about you, you're not living for you.
yes, but it's also doing it from a place of love. It's
Yeah,
also doing it from
you
a
don't have
place
to
of,
be rude or anything.
no,
You
I'm
just
still learning that. My friend calls it the shit on the upper lip. You know, when you look, you know, when you're looking at other humans and you're like, okay, I'm learning to still zip this
but,
one.
but then once again, it's like allowing them to have the experience.
Yes,
Right?
I know, but wait, what is the fine line between actually saying something and speaking our
But why
truth
do
with
you
them?
have the need to say anything? Because then you want to be right.
Well, is it if I'm speaking up for myself and speaking my truth?
No, but are you speaking up for your, like, in which way?
Okay, let me think of an example. I can't think of an example right now. Let's say somebody is saying something derogatory about another person, and that person's not there to defend themselves. Okay,
Can you say that? Those are your words, not mine.
you've got to give it back to them.
Because if you keep quiet, they think you agree with them, and then you're complicit. You know, like if somebody goes to burgle a house and you say, no, I was just sitting in the car when they did the burglary. Yeah, but you were complicit. You should have walked away or whatever, right?
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so if they're saying something, we don't often say anything when somebody else is gossiping about someone, because we don't want to be offensive to the person that is gossiping, but they're the ones that are being offensive. Really, they're being offensive, right? So are we going to be brave enough to say, or look, sorry, I'd rather not hear. Because what you've done now is when you gossip, you're putting the burden onto somebody else to carry, because it's stuff now that they are carrying about. And that person that's being gossiped about isn't there to defend themselves. So would you be saying those things if that person was standing right next to you?
Yes, but I agree with you, and this has probably been something that I've been holding for myself for
I
many
have
years.
gossiped. I actually gossiped last week because I was so irritated with somebody. And somebody said, "Are you doing ABC?" And I said, "Absolutely no,"
Mm,
because I don't like
mm.
it or whatever.
But I often keep quiet, Julie, and I don't like it because a part of me wants to just say, actually, this isn't my place. So I like so often I just keep quiet and I go, okay. So the word that comes to mind is being an accomplice of that energy, of that
Yes. So
vibration.
maybe we need to,
But
and
where's
I
it
didn't feel
wrong?
nice that I did that myself.
Okay, but is it self-righteous or is it wrong to speak up in that moment and say, actually, thank you, but no thank you?
Yes, because when you stop it, when you stop accepting it, you won't be getting it yourself, and then they'll realize, oh well, I can't gossip with Michelle.
You know what you've just realized? Sorry, what you've helped me to realize is I remember doing this years and years ago when I was going through my divorce. I went to a restaurant and I knew that the owner of the restaurant knew my ex-husband, well, soon to be ex-husband as well. And I played the victim. And I was like, oh, by the way, blah, 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 blah. You know, he left me with my little baby girl. And this guy was very, very good in saying, you know what? I actually, to be honest with you, it's none of my business. And it was kind of just like, blip. And I went, okay. And I was kind of annoyed because I was like, really? We
Because you
know
wanted
as a
support, you
couple,
wanted to
but I
play.
wanted somebody in my corner. I wanted
Yeah,
somebody that had my back.
yeah.
And that's what I'm coming to realize is that, and kudos to him because I sort of sat with it. I thought, shit, he just called me out, you know? And I was like, okay, Michelle, don't play the victim. Um, but there's been so many times that I've just kept quiet and I've allowed people to suppress. I've allowed people to say, yes, but Mish, you should know better. And I'm like, really? What do you mean? You know? And and that's where I'm learning to bring the like the word I'm getting is oscillate. Is that turning? Is that what does oscillate mean? Oscillation.
Move. Oscillations movement.
Movement, okay? So that's where I'm learning, like, when do I speak up with saying it politely and saying thank you, but no thank you, you know? This is, I
How
don't
many
want to,
conversations are people going to have if they can't gossip?
well, that's it. Aren't we going into the space of telepathic, where we're going to be talking? I know. I just don't like it, Jilly. It doesn't make me feel
Sit
good
well.
in any way. It
No.
doesn't sit well. And I think what's important in communication is, especially in relationships, like I'll say to Brent, Bun, I just need to vent. Like I just need to vent, like I haven't had a best moment or whatever. And then because with him, you know, men like want to fix, you know, and my husband's incredibly protective, you know, as Cancerian men are about their family. So he just goes into my defense, my corner very quickly. And I've said to him, no, I'm strong enough. I've got this. I don't need you to defend me. I don't need you to say what I'm thinking, basically. But I just need to just vent. I just need to get it out the body. And I suppose that's where therapy comes into it, hey?
Yeah,
But,
because then again, then it's you could do your head in sometimes, eh? Because then you'd go,
oh,
oh, and now he's holding. It's like, when's
oh,
enough
I
enough? Eh?
know. I
I think
know.
we overthink things.
Yes, but that's sometimes where it's just like, just freaking say it like it is, get it over and done with, and we love and respect each other regardless. And then it's like, okay, it's done. I don't know, maybe that's just the background I've come from. Where
I've
we
got a
just
question
like,
for you.
yeah,
You know, you often speak about holding space.
yeah.
And I keep on thinking to myself, what does she actually mean? Does it mean just listen?
Well, it does. Because if you think of where you've just come from, where you've met those beings, they're just holding space. So it is listening. Great question. And letting the person be okay to feel safe enough. So let's say you're venting and you're having a moment. Personally, I think gossiping can be very right wing or very left wing. You know, sometimes I know in my relationship with you, I feel safe to be able to share a lot with you, you know, and we just talk. But I don't walk away going, oh my God, like, did Jill just judge me for that? Or should I have just not said that or whatever? For me, you
No,
hold.
because I know you, when you speak about something or whatever, it's never from a malicious point of view. It's quite
Yeah.
different.
But
It's
there
more
you
like
go.
from an upset, or, or did I do
Yes.
this properly, or what do you think?
Yes, and the same with you. So there you go. So there we've kind of answered our own question, and perhaps going in a roundabout way is just like, okay, there it is. Holding space is listening, but letting the person be in their truth to feel safe enough, because I know I haven't had many people that I can feel safe with.
Okay, I'll tell you what I need for holding space: homemade chicken pie
Mm-hmm.
and homemade cake
Mm-hmm. Which one?
and a cup of tea. Thanks. That's holding space for me.
Why? Because your mouth stuffed, or
And
so you
and
can't talk.
and and, and my house cleaned.
That's very different. But is it because you're stuffing your face and you can't talk? Is that, or we can't talk? But we're
So
talking,
that
we're
I've got
talking
some free
telepathy.
time and I could just chill.
Oh man, I know. Having somebody to clean our home. Gosh, I mean, you've lived in this country for how long and you still hope for that? I know.
Oh
But
man.
you're right, Julie. It's exactly that. It's listening without giving that feedback, without, it's just being. It's and it's something that and I'm just speaking completely open here because this is just who I am, it's my husband said that to me once. He says, how come you do it for everybody else but you don't do it for me? And my thought was, you don't pay me. And that was rude, but there was a part of me that's like, because I just want to outsource him all the time. Like, go to this one, go to Jill, And he's like, yes, but he says, you're the one I trust. You're the one that I can say whatever it is. And sometimes that's not an easy place to be, to hold, but it is. I'm learning to just allow the filter, just allow, like, think of those machines that it takes the dust and it lets out the fresh air. I don't know, filter, but we have them here in this country. Not a deep.
HRVs, ventilation systems.
Yeah, but some people have the freestanding ones where it's just like it takes the dust and it just sends out the fresh air, which is what nature does for us in any case. So if you think about it, how many trees we walk past and brush against, and they can't say to us, seriously, like, would you just stop touching me?
And this hair is driving me insane. And, hey, you were talking about your hair the other day in the hairdresser. I'm going tomorrow to
Yeah,
get
she was. Do you see how quick it happens? Here I am in my moment, talking about nature. And Jill's like, oh my God,
about her hair.
this hair, yeah, she's over it.
Thinking, no, no.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Jilly, great session. So we're going to do
You know what I
Wacky
want to do?
Wednesdays.
I just want to show the audience because it's just been so beautiful. I don't know if they're going to see it. I'll see if I can turn this around because it's just so stunning. Are they going to see this?
No, you can't see. Is that the white? It's not the clouds, it's the snow in the background,
It's
eh?
a snow.
Yeah,
Look at
nice.
this.
Beautiful.
How beautiful is that?
Mm, really gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, guys, so we're going to be doing Wacky Wednesdays according to Spirit. And, Jilly and I are very much, I believe, people of our words, and we love the commitment, and we love how you are all, I've said this time and time again, that we can't do this work without you guys. And I'm incredibly grateful to know that you are all with us, and that you are showing up for us. And yeah, we'll set a date. I don't know, Jilly, do you want to set a date now? Let's live in the present moment. Guys, we are heading to Christchurch and then Egypt, so we've got a great busy month. For those of you who live in New Zealand and want to come to Christchurch, Jill and I will be doing our thing. We'll try not laugh at each other,
Yeah.
which we just naturally do. But Jilly, Wacky Wednesdays, hey? We've got conversations for humanity. Should we kickstart tomorrow?
Tomorrow I've got the haircut at 10 o'clock. But if I do it, I can do early or
So
I can do afterwards.
is your hair driving you mad? Do you want to come with a fresh look?
No, I'm getting it cut for Egypt, but it's just too long. It's just going to
Because
get a chop.
if we do 8 a.m. our time, let me just double check for the rest of the world time, buddy. 8 a.m. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Pacific daytime is 12 p.m. Eastern is 3 p.m. Central is 2 p.m. United Kingdom is 8 p.m. Central European is 9 p.m. How does that sound, Julie? Are you wanting to do? Otherwise, we'll obviously be talking to the States if we do later. 1 p.m. would be later in the evening. Do you want to do an afternoon session, 1 p.m.?
Yeah, whatever.
Because that would be 5 p.m. Pacific, Eastern would be 8 p.m., Central would be 7 p.m. So more people would perhaps be at home and able to do the later session, except for obviously the rest of the world. But then we can have Australia join us for a change. How does that sound?
Okay.
That sound good? Okay, awesome, guys. So how do we do this now? Now I'm just thinking. Did they say live?
We just give a Zoom.
Oh, okay. So
It's a Zoom link. That's it.
I'll put a Zoom link in. So let's make, so your haircut is at 12
Tomorrow
10.
10 o'clock. Yeah.
10 o'clock. Okay. So would you be back at 11?
11:30 I'd be back.
Okay, so let's make it at 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12 p.m. is our time, New Zealand.
Yeah.
So this will be our Wednesday, your Tuesday, guys. All right, in the States and the rest of the world, which would be Pacific 4 p.m., Eastern is 7 p.m., Central is 6 p.m., Mountain is 5 p.m., and Australia is, well, Brisbane is 9 a.m. That's okay. So I'll put it the Zoom link. I'm going to be clear and upfront. Please don't email me for the link, okay? This is just what you see is what you get.
Yeah, you're grown-ups.
We're
Grown-ups.
and it's also just time consuming. So we're just gonna have conversations, I suppose.
That's it.
Hey, sound good?
Yeah. Because there's so many people that are feeling things, knowing things, know about other things that we don't know. It's just nice to say, hey, what's happening in your life at the moment?
And you know what? I would like to personally record it for those in the rest of the world that can't make it, and then we can put it into what
Yeah.
I don't know. What
And
is your
we are not editing it. So if you don't want your face on, don't come.
like
Because
you
we don't have
see-
time. We don't have we're not smart technological chicks yet.
No,
No,
we're getting
we
there.
are. We choose not to be.
It's too time consuming. But yeah, that sounds good. Hey, so 12 p.m. Oh shit, let me just look at my diary. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm going to put it in my diary, and we look forward to seeing you guys. And we just have conversations and we see what comes up. That sounds
Awesome.
good.
I love it. Love it.
Me too.
Thanks, guys.
Moments.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mitch.
guys. Love you. Thanks, Julie. Speak to you later,
See you
guys.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Okay, hold on. I don't know how to stop recording. Oh, then there it is. Okay, there we go.